are now entering Armbar Audio.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Armbar Audio. I'm your host, Tim Farley, and across the screen from me is my brown brother. Dummy, you're still muted.
It's Sid Shriram. Sorry, I had to hit the button. Sid Shriram, and now I just got to say that was, except for that, was probably one of the smoothest intros that we've done because right as we faded in, you started talking, so that was perfect. So I think I got the timing right as to when to tell you.
We could redo it.
No,
So
it's good. It's good. I think we're fine. Hi everyone. Yeah, it's been 2 weeks since we've talked to y'all. What's been going on, dude? Why did we not talk to these people for 2 weeks?
oh geez. Well, 1 week you were busy.
Yeah,
I know. Um,
I was out of town.
I don't. Uh, I don't know. It just kind of.
The week before,
Like
you were
New
just like,
Japan's doing their Road to Destruction shows, and the big shows haven't happened yet. And some
well,
things are going on in Impact, and
yeah,
we were just coming off of All In and All Out, and it just seemed like we didn't really have much to talk about. And then we had stuff going on,
we did.
and it's all right.
Yeah, and for me, work is gonna I think I said, I've told you, but yeah, the busy season is gonna start now soon, and it's gonna go from October all the way to the end of January. So that's gonna be interesting. I mean, I'll still obviously still make time for Armbar Audio, but yeah, for me, I think I actually yesterday I did a leg workout, and I think I added Russian twists to my workout, and now my butt really hurts. My
Yeah,
butt is in
I,
pain as I sit down.
I understand. I understand that.
Yep. Yeah, but it's all
I've
good.
been in the elliptical more than my hit exercise, and I was in a crunch earlier this week, and I wasn't able to use my elliptical. So later on in the day, I did my hit workout, and
Nice.
the elliptical has built my muscles more. But I was so there's two ways to do the hit workout, and usually I go back and forth between the two, depending on how I'm feeling during the workout. But this one, I did the hardest level most of the time. And
Nice.
my back, my upper back,
My
my
neck.
shoulders, everything has just been, has just been like,
Been
I
hell.
feel dead after 8 p.m. Yeah.
It's been hell.
Um, but yeah, I've lost 35 pounds
Nice.
since
Nice.
the
Nice.
last week of May.
Nice job. I still need to weigh
And
myself, but
thank you.
nice job. But yeah, I need to
Oh
weigh
man,
myself.
you
What?
you've transformed a lot.
I appreciate it. Yeah. I don't know. I think a lot of it came from just being, well, I will tell you that I have a family history of diabetes. Like both my grandfathers were type 2 diabetic. So that was definitely one of the biggest reasons why I started to say, "Oh, this is," and also when I was you know, gaining a lot of weight and stuff, and I was like, "Oh, I don't think I want to do this. I think let's try to make some changes." And as I started learning more about exercise and counting calories and shit, that kind of helped a lot more for sure. But yeah, I think we're on. I'm steadily continuing to lose more weight. I'm at one. I mean, I seem to be fluctuating right now between 180s to 190s, low 190s to high 180s. But my goal, like I said, I think was to get to 170. So that's what we're working on. I have to.
You're shorter than me, aren't you?
I am. I'm like 5'7".
Your weight is fine, I think, because I'm 5'11", and according to the BMI bullshit, I'm supposed to be 170.
Okay,
So like,
I mean that's what it said for me too.
I I don't know. When's the last time they updated that kind of shit?
That's a
That's what
great
I want to
question.
know.
That's a great question. I have
But
no fucking
so
idea.
you were talking what started you on losing weight, and I've kind of had like periods of my life where I've lost weight and I've gained it back and such. But while John was in the hospital, I kind of started thinking about health, and I started to get in back into exercising. I started doing the hit exercises, but I wasn't really watching my diet or anything. But then um, the real kick in the ass was John's death, really. Um,
Oh yeah.
when you see a 31-year-old body on the ground, it kind of puts things in perspective. And this is just the first part. I've been trying to transition from cigarettes to just vaping because um, there's still no article like research that proves vaping causes like heart problems or lung problems. It just says it increases nicotine addiction. So,
Yeah.
like,
It's
if
just
I can transition fully,
yeah.
that'd be great, and then eventually get off of that. But it's one
Yeah.
thing at a time, and you know, I
Yeah.
just it feels good though too.
That's
Like
good. Yeah.
I bought a shirt last year or so, maybe 2 years ago, and it said it was one size, the size that I usually wear. And when I put it on, it hugged every inch of fat on my upper body. And this week, just for to see, I put it on, and it was like a drape. And I was like, "This
Damn.
is awesome." This, yeah,
I felt the
it,
same
it felt
about yeah.
it felt great.
I usually there's like this hoodie that I really like, and I saw that when I wore it, I looked like a scarecrow. So I was like, oh shit, yeah, I need to do that. And I also mentioned another reason why I did get in shape was honestly because I've been heartbroken a lot, and a lot of girls don't like me. So I'm like, okay, well, you don't like me, I'm gonna work out. That's how a lot of people do get started. It's like they get so pissed
Yeah,
off at least with men. A lot of men get really pissed off at women who did them dirty or
not
broke their
just
hearts.
women though.
Yeah,
Not just women. Like men deal with
yeah, all kinds of shit,
problems
man. Yeah, we deal with all kinds of
by
shit.
by by blowing off steam, and by blowing off steam, that's usually a workout. Like I remember, I had a job that I really just did not like. I didn't like most of the people I worked with. I didn't like the job that much. I liked the idea of the job.
Yeah,
But every day after that job, I would sit in a parking lot and smoke like 3 cigarettes in total silence. And then I would go home. And this is when I was with my ex fiance. I would go home. She'd be in the living room, and my heavy bag and my weights were in the basement. And I wouldn't even say hello, and I would go straight down there, and I would blast like either like heavy music, like metal or whatever, or I'd blast like crunk rap, and I
nice.
would just go to fucking town on my heavy bag because and then I would come up drenched in sweat, and she would be like, "Hey, how are you?" And then like it was time to talk, and it was she knew that I needed that. And um yeah, yeah. It's
Hmm.
it's a good whenever I feel like I'm in a rut, or like, or I'm affected by something, I know, okay, it's time to work out.
Yeah, I know for a fact for me, like I also had a job that was pretty toxic, like 2 years ago. That's actually why I switched over to work in retail for a year. But um, I remember I had a really bad habit of like, because there was like a 7-Eleven right next to my workplace. So even if I didn't have to
Oh,
like,
I remember.
yeah, so even if I didn't have to fill gas, I would drive there. I'd buy like three like king size candy bars and like a soda. I would finish. And from my house, it was like 15 minutes, like a 15-minute drive. I would finish all those fucking candy bars and that soda by the time I reached my house. That's how much the mental stress it was. I mean, I still like got it in with the workout and stuff, but I like my eating habits were absolutely
Well,
garbage.
well, yeah, and that's how people handle their problems, right?
Yeah,
There's the hard way and there's the easy way, and the easy way is always like something negative, like oh I'm uh, like uh like a lot of people would hear what I said about John's death and me turning it into motivation and be like, oh, I I can't even conceive that idea. Like if that happened to me and my best friend, I would
yeah,
probably be eating my feelings away or, drinking my feelings or,
yeah,
something like that. And I've been there too. I'm a former drunk. Like I guess, they want you to say that you're an alcoholic, but I don't prescribe
yeah.
editing your mind. Oh, I'm an alcoholic. No, I'm a sober human.
That's
That's it.
yeah,
You
exactly.
know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
Like
That's
I don't need the negative connotation attached to me my whole life, and I don't need alcohol attached to me my whole life.
yeah,
So saying that I'm an alcoholic is like, but that's a whole nother story.
right.
Uh, but but yeah, it's kind of like the ways that people deal with their problems.
That is
It's that
true.
you either deal with it negatively or you deal with it in a positive way. And
Yeah,
both, if you do either in moderation, they could the negative could be an okay thing. And the positive could not be so positive or you know what I mean? But uh we are a wrestling podcast.
yeah,
So I suppose we should talk about wrestling.
yeah. And
Um
there is there and honestly, we were talking about job environment and work environment. Well, unfortunately, if you see the little graphic, we do have the WWE logo on it. That's because we just got another slew of cuts from WWE. And I mean, it just always sucks when we have to do it. I don't know if you remember last couple years, man. Holy shit, how many people got cut or got released from WWE, and
in
it's just been
2020 and 2021
yeah,
it was big time
worst
and
freaking years.
last week was or this past week I think this past Monday was whenever the TKO Endeavor era started and there's a lot of stuff going on with Vince McMahon and such and you could look that up yourself.
Yeah,
We're not here to discuss that. We're not going to talk about business and all that kind of shit.
yeah,
Uh, I we're just here to discuss names of talent that
yep,
were released
yep.
and where we think they should end up.
All right, yeah. So I actually pulled up the list of names here, so I'm gonna read them off. Like I'm gonna start from the bottom and go all the way up because those are. But these are some of the. So we did get a good mix of main roster and NXT releases. So some
Mm.
of the NXT releases included Abule Abadi Fitzgerald, Brooklyn Barlow, Alexis Gray, Daniel MacArthur, Kevin Ventura
Alexis
Cortez.
Gray sounds like a porn star.
Yeah, yeah, it does because it's like
Yeah, big time.
yes, it
Alexis
does.
Texas and Sasha Gray or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah. Hey man, they're not paying us to talk about them. Okay, we can't mention their names.
something like that. I
Anyway,
don't know.
Daniel
There's definitely a
MacArthur.
Gray.
Yeah, there is. I think there's another gray out there. Anyway, um, Kevin Ventura Cortez, Bryson Montana, Quincy Elliott. He was that big cruiser. He was that big dude who was in 205 Live. That was Ikemen.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
he was like his thing was like the super diva, right?
I think so. Yeah.
But didn't they turn him into like
No, I think the
a
last
queer
picture of his.
character?
Oh, okay, they did. Guys, see, I wasn't keeping up after a while with cruiserweight division.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, he's not cruiserweight, right? He's like
he's a
real heavy set.
cruiserweight. He's a cruiserweight because he's still under 205 pounds apparently. So he's still
Well,
in the
then
cruiserweight
maybe we're
division.
wait. Hold
No,
on.
you're no,
What's his
you're
name?
you're talking about the right guy. Yeah, Quincy Elliott. He's the guy who he's like a really heavy set dude, but he was competing in the cruiserweight division.
Yeah, yeah. He they kind of turned him into like a queer character. He was known as the super diva.
Weird. Okay.
And I mean, I don't know how he started off or anything, but yeah. Uh
Yeah. Anyway, but that's not all. So then we
yeah,
had
yeah, go ahead.
Yulisa Leon, Ikemen Jiro, who by the way was one of our some of a couple of followers that I followed. They were excited about that he can go to other places now. I don't know much about him
He was like I don't know if he was in DDT or like another
or Noah or
like
something.
smaller Japanese promotion.
Oh, sorry,
No,
not
he
Noah.
wasn't
No,
from
not Noah.
Noah or New Japan, but
Was it like
it
all
was
Japan or
I don't know, but when he came in, people online were excited, but they didn't really do much with him. Yeah.
okay? Then Shanky, which he's it's my brother. No, Dabakato, which was interesting. He got released. That he was also
Kato.
he
Was he
was
the dude with Apollo Crews?
he was General Commander Aziz or whatever. They renamed him Commander
Oh
Aziz.
yeah.
Yeah. Dana Brooke, interestingly, because she's been with the company.
What? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, Dana Brooke.
Awful.
I,
Awful.
like awful that she got released or awful wrestler.
Awful that she got released.
Yeah. Okay.
No, she is not an awful wrestler. She never got her just due.
Yeah, I liked her, man. Mansoor and Mace, both of them are gone. Now okay. Now we're getting into some of the main roster guys. Rick Boogs
Wait,
or
which one was Mace?
Mace he was in Retribution. Uh, he was the
Yeah,
black
but
dude.
like who was he? Like Shane Hayes was slaps. Oh, he dated Rhea Ripley for a little while before Buddy,
Yeah,
right?
that guy. Yeah,
It was like the Black Otaku or whatever.
yeah, the black otaku on. I forgot his name, but yeah,
Yeah, I forget his name too. Okay, okay, okay.
but yeah, him. Yeah, Rick Boogs or Eric Bugenhagen as he debuted in NXT. Yeah, he was
Which is
interesting.
ridiculous. He was in a tag team with Shinsuke Nakamura at like last year's WrestleMania or something,
Yeah,
and he was in commercials.
yeah, that was crazy.
I don't know.
Anyway, Rick Boogs, Top Dollar, which is interesting. So, I mean, I didn't care much for Top Dollar, but okay. Um,
I'll say this,
yeah,
okay? I didn't care for Top Dollar at all, but then I watched that the superstars talk about Bray Wyatt, and he came off very genuine and very smart, and
mm,
just like I thought it changed my mind about him for sure.
okay. I need to go watch that again. Uh, Aaliyah, she got released. Riddick
She's a
Moss.
racist piece of shit.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, that
Yeah,
sucks. That sucks. But Riddick Moss, which kind of sucks because I really liked him and Sabatelli together for a while. That was fun. Uh,
that was the last time I really watched him,
yeah,
and he will always be known to me as the guy who injured Hideo Itami. Because whenever he was with Sabatelli, they were doing like NXT house shows and shit,
yeah,
and he injured Kenta for a while,
I mean,
and I was just like,
Kenta was just always like every other week he was getting injured when he was in WWE. You know,
mhm.
yeah, Riddick Moss, Emma, she got released. It's kind of
I
stupid.
believe they're engaged, by the way.
Oh, Moss and Emma. Con-
Yeah,
what a great engagement gift. That's awesome. Anyway, um,
yeah, really.
yeah, but it's weird because she came back. She returned as Tennille Dashwood. She went to Impact as Tennille Dashwood. She was pretty good there, and then WWE said, "Okay, fine, we'll bring you back." And then they didn't do jack shit with her again. So stupid. Anyways, um,
Honestly, sometimes I think they rehire people just so other promotions
yeah,
uh
they're like the
can't
kid who doesn't want
can't
to
have
share.
them.
They're like the kid who doesn't want to share their toys. You know. Anyway,
Right.
yeah, Emma Mustafa Ali, which honestly I don't feel bad because he's been wanting to leave for a while, and I'm glad that he's able to go out and spread his wings. Like it sucks that he got fired, but also it's like good. Like now you can go out and explore what else is out there.
I
Elias,
think
yeah,
I think with Mustafa Ali, he mainly was in AAW
hmm
before WWE, which is which was a is a really good independent in Chicago. It's where Sky Blue started
oh,
as
okay,
well. And
nice,
then he went straight to WWE. He didn't like I never seen him in a lot of other indies or bigger indies. I didn't see him in Japan or whatever. And he went straight to WWE. And WWE, you could say a lot of things. Like you could either look at his run as negative, or you could look at it as he got a lot of screen time. He got a lot of opportunities. He got the cruiserweight title. He was a leader of a faction. You
yeah,
know, it depends
a
on how you
bad one, but
look
yeah,
at shit. But Mustafa, yeah, but it could have been good. It
it
could have
could have
been
been,
good. The idea was good, but the execution and what they really wanted them to do was bad. And
yeah,
you knew
that was
Mustafa Ali
stupid,
felt that way too.
yeah.
Um, I'm excited to see what happens with
Yeah,
him.
I,
But
I
go ahead,
like
sorry.
I like him, man. He seems like just a good dude in general. Um,
Agreed.
this one kind of hurt me a little bit, Elias, because I really liked Elias. You know, I was walking with
Um,
Elias. You know,
one of my best friends came up in wrestling with him. They started training together at the same place. They started wrestling at the same place, which is the same place that Britt Baker came from, and Wardlow really kind of broke out at. And like I met the dude when he was a
excuse me.
nobody, and he was a nice guy. And um, I saw recently that while he was injured, he went to the Jordan River to be baptized,
Huh?
uh, like
That's
Jesus.
cool.
And
That's awesome.
so I don't know how much he's really gonna care about the release. Like usually whenever you have a big spiritual transformation like that, uh, he's probably I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
I don't
he might
know.
take a
But
break. He definitely might take a break from wrestling. But then, I mean, I mean, Shawn Michaels, like was a born again Christian, and he like came back to wrestling, didn't he? Like, did he take a break in between and then come back, or did he
many
like?
years.
That's
Yeah,
what. Yeah.
many years.
So yeah, he might, but yeah, he may not take a many year break. He may take a couple months break, and then we'll maybe see
Right.
him
I'm just
somewhere.
saying, like, if I'm over in Israel or wherever and I'm getting baptized where Jesus was, and I get a phone call that says my job just let me go after I haven't been used for like more than half a year, I'd probably be like,
Okay.
okay, man.
Okay. Cool.
You know, I mean, at
Yeah.
least that's how I see it. But it is his job,
But
so
I did like Elias though. He was good. I liked him. Had he just I don't know always kind of was he was very captivating, and he had his way with words, and he was pretty good in the ring too. I think he was decent.
He was solid. He's a solid worker,
Yeah,
and he was able to be entertaining. And for those two reasons, before Gunther had the Intercontinental title and before Austin Theory had the US title and kind of brought prestige back to those titles, he could have easily been a mid-card champion.
yeah,
It's really weird to me that he wasn't.
yeah.
Um,
Like
but
he feuded with Seth Rollins when he was Intercontinental Champion. He could have taken it off of him, but I mean, but the thing is, 2018 was like the year of Rollins, so I kind of see why they kept it on him for so long. But still, you know.
mm,
Okay, a couple more names. Shelton Benjamin, he's been released. I mean, I think
that's happened before.
the last thing that the last good thing that he did was the Hurt Business. So and after that, I don't think they did much with him, right?
He might have been working as an agent or something. I don't know.
Maybe. And then these two names were almost surprising, but not so surprising. But Dolph Ziggler and Matt Riddle. Uh, Go ahead.
They're both surprising.
Yeah.
Dolph Ziggler was in WWE for almost 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of seemed like, you know, he
He
was
always.
kind of untouchable, even if they
Yeah.
weren't using him. Um, my just speaking about Dolph Ziggler, like I will say this: if he wrestles anywhere else, I'm excited just so I don't have to refer to him as Dolph Ziggler. I've hated that name for the entire. It's one of the stupidest names for one of the longest tenured wrestlers I've ever heard in the history of wrestling. But he, I remember when Curtis Axel was first starting out, right? And I was like, Dolph Ziggler is more of Mr. Perfect than Curtis Axel is. He reminded me so much of Kurt Hennig. And
I can see that.
like when you talk about technical wrestlers and like guys who like every every move they do makes sense and matters. Dolph Ziggler is at the top of that list. Whether you watch WWE or not,
Mm-hmm.
you can't take that away from him. My favorite match of Dolph Ziggler's was from Bragging Rights, I think 2010. He was a mid card champion, and Bryan Danielson was a mid card champion, and they wrestled each other.
Oh
And
wow.
that match, I'll still go back and watch that match. It's so fucking good. But um, yeah, we'll go from like the names we know and talk about where we think they should go. But the other name you mentioned, Matt Riddle.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I'll say this. Okay, go ahead and say what you gotta say, then I'll say something.
you first. You first.
So for me, Matt Riddle. Now, I got introduced. You introduced me to Matt Riddle. So I actually watched a couple of his matches before he joined WWE. Like I think I watched. I believe I did watch one of his matches with Walter slash Gunter in the Indies. That was a really good match, and he had a very interesting style with like he wrestled barefoot. He was doing the whole bro thing. I loved his run in NXT. He started off as just Keith Lee's best friend and just kind of broke out into his own thing, and that was really cool. And his teaming up with Pete Dunne, or Butch as he's called now, the Broserweights, that was dope, man. And then
I loved
eventually,
it.
yeah, and then of course because of COVID, Pete Dunne wasn't able to come to America, so they paired him up with Timothy Thatcher, which eventually led to like a feud between the two, which led to the first ever Fight Pit. That was an awesome match. I really liked that match. And then of course he went to main roster, and then they just really accentuated the fact that he
paired him
smokes
with
weed.
and
And
they
Randy
paired him
Orton,
with
yeah,
Randy,
that was
and
cool.
then Randy
That was
got
cool.
hurt, I guess.
Yeah, he did.
Is Randy? Yeah. But
Although apparently there was a video that surfaced of him going back into the performance center, so he may be gearing up for a return soon.
my thoughts on Matt Riddle are very mixed. Whenever he was on the Indies, whenever he did Evolve and Rev Pro and everywhere else, he had great matches and he oozed charisma. Um, but and then whenever he got into NXT, like you said, the Bros are ways,
The fight
the
pit.
fight pit stuff, all that was good. And then main roster, okay, there's been a lot of comparisons between Matt Riddle and RVD because they're both huge stoners. But
Yeah,
like Rob Van Dam, especially at the height of his WWE career, was taken very serious. Even though everyone knew he was a stoner, he had
yeah,
like he talked about how good he was in the ring. He wasn't talking about weed.
weed.
He
Yeah,
was like, he was talking about like, I'm Mr. Monday Night, I'm the whole fucking show, I can do all these things. Look at me do all these things. And with Riddle, it wasn't like that. It
yeah.
was
It was
like,
just look at all,
bro,
bro. I
come
smoke
on,
weed,
bro.
bro.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Let's wrestle, bro. And it was just like, this is
yeah.
fucking stupid. And
Let's
then you
wrestle,
look
bro.
at
Yeah,
like the the
it
the
is. Yeah,
years outside of the ring in his career, and it's like, especially in the past in the past month. I mean, he was in an airport and he was making all these social media posts about how they were like touching him and raping him and molesting him and stuff, and it came out that he was just super fucked up off his mind, and he
yeah.
had already went to rehab, and like Matt Riddle has found a way to fuck up almost everything he's ever had. Uh
That's sad.
at
That he.
least from an outsider's perspective. The UFC, his marriage, and and WWE now. And um, there was I
Except
went on
the
Twitter
indies, then in that
yesterday
case.
and it said, you're right. And it said, well, I mean, like, I guess like his come ups, like while he was coming up in UFC, when he was coming up in wrestling, all that, but then he like plateaus and just
No one
fucking
cares. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. But I know that I went on Twitter yesterday and I think No DQ asked, "Do you think AEW should sign Matt Riddle?" And I
I
didn't even have to
don't
think,
know.
and I said no. I just said no
No.
because no. I think Matt Riddle needs a timeout. I
Yeah. I can see
I
that.
think he needs to reevaluate things and
Yeah, for sure.
maybe if he's gonna go back in, like if he's gonna wrestle more, he needs he needs something. Like I don't know, but the way the main roster like made him out to be was just lame in my opinion.
It
Because he
was.
came up with like Keith Lee and Gunther, like, and he even went up against Shibata, and it was fucking awesome. Like in NXT, they treat him that like that too. Like he
Yeah.
was fantastic,
Yeah.
and he probably had great matches in on the main roster too. But
I mean,
like
he had that
I
match
don't
with
know.
he had that match with Rollins at Extreme Rules 22 where but it was like and it was a good match, but it was overshadowed by the
Yeah, but
return of Bray.
he was, but also, even if he did have a good match, it
No
wasn't
one
going to
gave a
amount to
shit.
anything
Yeah.
because his character was so
Dumb
engrossed in this
in weed.
dumb character.
It was just
Yeah,
all of it was every time someone said joint or blunt or kilo or whatever. Oh, bro, did someone say joint? I was like, come on. There's like literally, I remember they added. You remember when they were doing like the weird 3D graphics and shit for the entrances? They literally had like like cartoon birds come out whenever he did like his pose, whatever the hell that is. I'm like, dude, really? I mean, I get it. He probably did smoke a fat one. He probably did take a hit from the bong or smoke a fat one before getting in the ring. But I don't need to know that. I just need him to get there and perform. So
Right.
yeah, it was stupid. I think honestly, yeah, mix of that and like you said, his personal life stuff. Yeah, he needs to get his act together before he does anything. Dolph Ziggler, on the other hand, though, from what I heard during the pandemic when indie shows were shutting down and there was no indie wrestlers weren't getting any work, like Dolph Ziggler, from what I heard, bought up a shit ton of indie wrestler merch. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, he's a good,
He
yeah,
was the direct opposite of Braun Strowman,
pretty much, yeah. And Braun Strowman
who
was like,
was a fucking asshole.
yeah, he was. That's why he's back in WWE. Anyways, but no,
Basically.
yeah, he's like, oh
Um,
yeah, he just shit on indie wrestlers. Then Vince was like, well, that was good shit, pal. You're back in the company. Anyway, but no, with Dolph Ziggler, I would
so
just say
what?
this. I'll just say this. Yeah, Dolph Ziggler, he seems like a good dude, and I read somewhere that if he goes back in the Indies, he's gonna be a fucking star, which I agree. So
Oh, that's the thing. If he goes to the Indies, he could turn that shit into gold like Zack Ryder, like Matt
Matt
Cardona.
Cardona, yeah,
Matt Cardona is on the run of his fucking life,
yeah, and
and and
go ahead.
he's so smart. He's so good at what he's doing that Ziggler could do something similar. But the other option, which is a very strong option, his brother is employed by AEW.
Yeah,
I could see him coming to AEW.
you think they're gonna just pair him up if he does? You think they'll just pair him up with Ryan, or he's gonna do his own thing?
Um, it wouldn't hurt Ryan if it would help elevate Ryan. It would depend on what um Nick wants to do because that's his name, right? Nick
Yeah,
Nemeth.
Nick
He
Nemeth.
it depends on what he wants to do. If he's at the point in his career where he wants to give his brother the rub and like do a tag team or something like that, he could definitely do that. Or he could be like, look, I'm a big deal and I want to come in and have a big time, big deal type of match, big deal type of singles run. He could do that too. It's entirely up to him. But
Yeah,
since he was in WWE for 20 years and almost 20 years, and he's dabbled in stand up, and you know,
did some
he
did
has
some
interests.
politics and stuff too.
Really? I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
he was on Fox News a couple of times. Yeah,
Odd. But I could see him just like doing sporadic stuff, um, or just taking it easy. Sometimes people take it easy. Now, when it comes to Moss and Tennille, um, I think that they might end up in Impact
yeah, I agree.
as like a package deal, kind of like Macklin and Deanna. Um, Impact would be good. If them, I would want Tennille to dip her toes in AEW because AEW lately seems to be working on their women's wrestling problem, and their champion is Saraya. And the two women who started the women's revolution in WWE was Paige, aka Saraya, and Emma, aka Tennille. You could run that back. Um, because they wrestled on the first takeover and it was awesome. But Riddick Moss I think would do really well in Impact. They take the lesser WWE type of names and bring
They
out the best versions of them,
they do.
in my opinion. Um,
Yeah.
who else? Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali could
AEW.
literally go anywhere.
Yeah. But I would
Yeah.
love to see him in AEW. I
I
need.
I would
Yeah. Go ahead.
I honestly I honestly would like to see him have an AEW contract, but also like you see it with Eddie Kingston, Moxley,
But also be able to
um
wrestle in New Japan.
some other yeah, because I would love
Yes.
to see him in the Best of Super Juniors and the Junior Festivals and the Super J Cups. I think that would be
That would be
really cool to
rad.
see.
Just give me right now.
Um,
Right now, just give me Ali versus Phoenix. That's all I need.
you know what? That would be great, especially for the international championship.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Um, let's see. Um, Dana Brooke should be hired by AEW.
Yeah.
If they want to continue to try to if they want to try to enhance their women's division, I've never had anything bad to say about Dana Brooke
Yeah.
in her
Same.
career.
Same.
I think she was held back a lot. I think a lot of people thought that, and I think she could wherever she landed would be good for her. Um, right now you have Trinity as the Knockouts champion, so maybe these women who were let go see that and they're like, oh, okay, we could go there. You know, Impact is always a safe haven for women's wrestling because it's the best place in the West for women's
For women's
wrestling.
wrestling. No, that I agree
Uh,
with. Yeah. Yeah.
at least for the time being, because there's a
Yeah.
new Joshi promotion that started yesterday or 2 days ago or last weekend. I think it's called Rise or Sudokin or something. I
Oh,
forget,
okay.
but I'm keeping my eyes on that because it's interesting. Um, who else were the big names?
Shelton Benjamin was there.
Shelton Benjamin doesn't have to do anything. Like, and he probably feels that way too. Like he's been released and came back so many times that like if he wants to wrestle somewhere, he'll get booked. He could be taken in as an agent somewhere. Um, but you know, what would be cool?
Yeah.
What would be really cool, even if it was like a one-off type deal at a at an ROH pay-per-view, bring him in to challenge Shibata for the Pure Championship.
Oh my God. I would.
That would be fucking awesome.
It would. That.
E-
That's.
Even if it's a one-time thing. Like,
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I think. Yeah. Shelton Benjamin. That would be good. Let him come to let him participate in the G1 next year. That would be interesting. I could see that
yeah,
in New Japan. Yeah, but I think with Shelton Benjamin, yeah, he's pretty much at this point he can do whatever the hell he wants. So, and I mean he could even hang it up if he wants to. And it would
right.
be yeah. Oh yeah, and then I mean, top dollar,
Mace,
top dollar. I
I
would
think
just
Mace has upside. I think.
Mace.
Oh, sorry, you're talking about top dollar.
No, I was just saying
Okay.
top dollar.
Uh,
The only thing, top dollar. Just go to AEW, join Mogul Embassy. That's all you need to do, and then do the swerve when I drive dance with Prince Nana. That's all I need to see. Yeah, that it's so good.
whatever he does.
It's
Yeah.
so good. I love it. Yeah. Okay. Mace.
I think Mace has a lot of upside. I think anywhere he went, he could become better. He could get more eyes on him. Um, AEW, and at All Out, they were screaming meat at Hobbs and Miro,
Miro.
and we see Mogul Embassy have a lot of big guys. From the beginning of AEW's conception, people were like, all the guys are smaller and blah 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 blah. And now they were talking about a meat division, like as a joke. You could throw him in there. He can go to Japan. He could go to Impact. Either way, I want to see what he does.
You know who else would be
Because I
great? Yeah.
every member of Retribution had something good to offer, but the but the but the faction sucked so fucking bad.
It was DOA, man. Retribution was just dead
Yeah,
on arrival. But you know, speaking of meat division or whatever, another heavyweight that could work is Dabakato. I mean, him and AEW mixing it up with Luchasaurus or Miro or Hobbs or whoever at that. I want to see that for sure. Um,
in my
but he's
opinion,
more of a henchman,
also
so
it, if we're talking about any people who were just trained by WWE and didn't come up through indies and such, like they weren't journey wrestlers before they got there, I think they all should take a sabbatical to Japan. Go to Japan for a little while. Doesn't matter where. Like you can go to any
excuse
of them
me.
and then make your way back to the States. Because
Yeah,
I think it would. I think, in my opinion, I think Japan makes people better wrestlers. I mean, some people not necessarily, but like it it's good. It's good for a wrestler to go there, in my opinion.
yeah, I can see that.
But
But
we also want to talk about AEW Grand Slam.
yep,
And since we've just taken a lot of time talking about these releases, I want to talk we're not going to run down everything. Let's just talk about what we liked and what we disliked from these shows. And we'll start with Wednesday. Sid, what did you like from Dynamite Grand Slam?
Dynamite Grand Slam. I love that they started out with like a big match with Claudio versus Eddie Kingston. That was a great fucking match, and it had
Perfect
a
opener.
yeah great opener, and it very like kind of cathartic for all of us because finally Eddie got his comeuppance. Well, no, Claudio got his comeuppance, and Eddie's the new ROH World Champion. I'm excited to see how that plays into everything now. Um, yeah,
Two things about that match. My favorite parts of that match uh, was Eddie was chopping Claudio in the chest in the corner, and Claudio was no selling and walking straight into him. And then fucking Eddie just hit him with a
it
right in
broke
his
his
jaw,
jaw.
and Claudio got right down to his knee, and like I lost it. And the ending, um, they shook hands, and Claudio gave him the belt, and he walked away. And it wasn't like hugging or like we're friends now,
Yeah,
everything's
no, it's just
cool. No, you could still tell that, not everything's okay, but
yeah, but
everything's okay.
yeah, like they don't have to
You
be
know,
friends, but they respect each other enough.
right, right.
Like
He
Eddie's
he
earned
earned Claudio's respect.
yeah, and vice versa. Hopefully. That was good. I loved the. I mean, I'm gonna keep skipping here and there, but by the way, I will say, John Moxley hopefully gets well soon because he took a nasty bump in that match. So hopefully that's. I mean, I know it was a concussion, but still. But either way, I know it may have been an audible, but Ray Phoenix is international champion. I'm for it. I love it. So
Good stuff. But if you are a long tenured referee, count the fucking three.
yeah,
Count the three. Luckily, luckily, when Ray Phoenix's music hit after he won, that's Arthur Ashe turned their boos into cheers. But that fuck up was a big time fuck up,
Yeah.
in my opinion. And if you've been reffing for however long, you come on, guy, come on.
Yeah. Then Tony Storm versus Saraya was entertaining. Entertaining as hell. Saraya retained, which I'm okay with, actually. I'm not against it. I think Tony still can come back for it, or she can challenge for the TBS title at some point. I love the whole movie star thing that she's doing. Like I said, it kind of reminds me of like Marilyn Monroe mixed with whatever happened to Baby Jane. That kind of whole thing, you know.
Um, everybody, including myself, we're all high on Tony Storm and what's going on with her right now. And I love the segments she's having with RJ City, all that stuff. But I'm going to say this too. At the press conference at the media scrum for All In, Saraya said, "You didn't see a lot of me or doing a lot of stuff for a long time because my body wasn't ready. And I have the title now because I am woman match after All In, and I made a comment on Twitter, and I said Soraya's taking good bumps, she's looking good, this and that. I thought the same thing in this match. Now, was there a lot of goofy stuff booked because they were all in a group together? Yes. Was it entertaining? Yes. But I don't think it was to protect Soraya. I think Soraya was honest in that media scrum, and I'm excited to see what continues to happen in the women's division in AEW.
Yeah.
There is a match that you went past uh, that I thought was
Yeah.
surprisingly great.
Uh,
Chris Jericho versus Sammy
That
Guevara.
was good.
Um,
I was gonna get to it, but yes.
I thought both guys were on the money, and I'm glad that it ended clean. I didn't want I really didn't want anybody like using a bat or like, whatever. I'm glad that the turn happened after the match. As you pointed out, Sammy was wearing the same colored trunks as Jericho was against Shawn Michaels
Yeah.
at WrestleMania, but Jericho was wearing the same colored pants as Shawn Michaels as well. He had red and black.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he
Um,
did. Damn, man.
the
That's
red wasn't as pronounced, but yeah, they had it down to the T. Um, and I'm glad that Sammy is with Callis
yeah.
because uh if you're going for heel heat and you kick Jericho in the balls, okay, you get booed a little bit, but then you step next to Callis and your heel stock goes way up.
Hmm.
And also, he's been talking about the Callis family for months, and there was only one guy. So finally, we got some
Yeah.
type of a faction.
And it looks like they're courting Daniel Garcia. I don't think he's gonna join, just because I think he should kind of go out on his own. But if he joins, hey, good for them. But
If he joins, he joins.
yeah, exactly. But no, if he does, great. But I would rather see him, you know, do his own thing. That's just me. Uh, yeah, I thought that was a good match, and Don Callis, he does a really great job of making you hate him. Like I think he's probably one of the best heels working today, and
Whenever he
so
was down there in Mexico for AAA, fans attacked him. Like, literally attacked him.
wow, yeah, because people want to see him like
Stick at being
I
a
think
heel.
I think people. I'm pretty sure, literally, if someone like shot him in the ring, people would not boo. People would fucking cheer. That's how much of a heel he has. Like, people think he's a real life villain. So he kind of reminds me, and I put this on Twitter. He kind of reminds me of Terry Silver from the Karate Kid and Cobra Kai franchises.
I agree.
Just kind of reminds me
I
of it.
agree. Big time.
Yeah, maybe that's where he got the inspiration from. although he doesn't have hair he doesn't have nice flowing hair that he can bunch up into a ponytail. But that's another story. No, but yeah, I love the. Well, you do, but no. Don Callis, I think, like, he is just that perfect kind of, mix of, like, devious villain and delusional as well, because he kind of keeps thinking he's the victim here. And it's funny because the Don Callis family is built out of spite for Kenny Omega. Like, the reason why he built Don Callis family is because he thinks Kenny Omega did him wrong. And that's the most interesting thing about the Don
And
Callis
he
family.
thinks Jericho does him wrong, so he gets Guevara. It's
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
And then Omega and Jericho's promo on
On
Rampage,
Rampage.
perfect.
Mm-hmm. Now they're gonna
Especially when Jericho said this company was founded on
rivalry.
our feud, on our rivalry. If
Yes.
it wasn't for us
Yeah.
wrestling at the Tokyo Dome, this company wouldn't have existed.
True.
But Callis has done this to you. He's done this to me. So at Wrestle Dream, it's going to be us two and Ibushi against the Callis family. And who's your third member? That'll be interesting to see.
A lot of people want. A lot of
The
people are saying Osprey. That. Eh.
See, this is the thing that I don't understand. I don't know how this meshes in my head. Aussie Open, Aussie Open are contracted by AEW, and they still wear United Empire colors. Osprey has his own faction, the United Empire. If when his contract is up in New Japan, if Tony Khan gets him, does he join the Callis family and disregards the United Empire? Or does he play around with Callis for now, enters this match, then when he transitions to AEW, if he does, Callis tries to court him, and then he open around him. Maybe they get somebody else from United Empire, and he's like, "No, mate, like I got this going on, and I'll whoop your boy Takeshita any day of the fucking week." I don't know, but it would be interesting.
What
But
if? Yeah.
in my logical brain, I just don't understand why Osprey would continue to be around Callis.
You know what would be interesting if they had if Callis hires Jay White to help them. I could see that happening.
Yeah,
That could be
but
interesting.
Jay is kind of feuding with Andrade right now.
Oh yeah, that's right. I mean, I know they're having a
That's
match.
starting tonight.
They're having a match tonight.
That's starting tonight.
Yeah. So we'll see. But I don't know, man. Who else could be the third member to help Don Callis' family? I mean, I could see it be
Daniel
Garcia.
Garcia.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be Garcia. But I mean, if they're gonna make it like,
Garcia and Osprey are the front runners, but I mean, they could like go and see like who hates Ibushi a lot, or I don't know. But I mean, if I think of those names, I think of like his big time rivalries in New Japan, and a lot of those guys are either still Nakamura's in WWE, and um Devitt's in WWE.
yeah,
So I mean, I don't know. Uh it'll probably be Osprey,
yeah.
because
I can't
I
see
think
anybody else right now.
Osprey's gonna be here for Bound for Glory and for Impact, and
Yeah.
that is, let me see the date. Um, Bound for Glory 2023.
Hey, once we
Blah,
finish
blah,
talking
blah,
about
blah,
that, I want
blah.
to bring. I want to talk about one thing. Once you're done.
Oh, he's wrestling Mike Bailey. That's cool as fuck.
Ooh, nice.
It doesn't say. It doesn't say the date. October 21st.
Oh, okay.
He'll be here October 21st. Wrestle Dream
It's October
is
1st.
yeah, so if he
It's like
wants to make a month of it, you know.
that's up to him, man. But I don't know. Those are the only Garcia and Osprey are the only two names that seem to make sense at this point. Um, I don't know who else they got. I mean, if you want to go completely out of left field and get shit, Jake Hager, I don't know. Shit,
I don't think
I
so.
don't fucking know, man.
Um,
But
let's see.
Mike Santana's
MJF and Samoa
debut.
Joe.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay,
MJF and Samoa Joe was fucking
it
awesome.
was great.
And
I love. Yeah,
uh
you go ahead. The intro
oh, the Bret Hart
that
intro
was great. I loved it.
with the MJF twist at the end was fantastic. The match was really good. I'm glad that Samoa Joe, all the reports came out after All In, and all the interviews he's done since then, and just the way that they've said he's handled himself and the locker room. I believe all of this was a thank you by Tony Khan. Uh, he seems to be the most professional guy in that locker room, and
At this
I
point,
think
yeah,
Samoa Joe is a treasure.
he is.
Um,
He is. I agree.
when when they were on the outside and he hit the pile driver to Max, I really thought like I was like this he can't win, right? Like he that something has to happen, right? Because in my brain, if that happens, MJF's done. But the match ended the way that MJF said it was going to, with him choking Joe out. And similar to the first match of the night, it ends in a handshake. And I like that too,
Yeah,
because the build to this match was Joe not taking him seriously, calling him a kid, etc. And that was good stuff.
yeah, that was
Um,
good. And then,
on to Rampage.
well, I did want to say like the
We can
Adam
talk
Cole
about
stuff. Yeah, I'll talk about that in a second. Adam Cole stuff was good. His interactions with the Kingdom and Roddy, that was interesting. It looks like, by the way, Adam Cole did looks like he kind of tweaked his knee a little bit when he was running down to help
yeah.
Max. But that should be okay. I don't think that's a big deal.
Speaking of the stuff that Roderick Strong's doing is the best stuff character wise in his
Yes.
career.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
I agree.
except except the time they put him in therapy through the United
That was
uh
funny.
the
Undisputed Era.
Undisputed Era.
That was
Which
funny.
was
That was awesome.
there. That was this
See,
Adam.
uh,
That stuff is so good.
see, the Undisputed Era
But
stuff worked because of Kyle O'Reilly.
I miss him.
I do
Um,
too.
but Rampage, they had a four-way for the number one contenders to the ROH Tag Team Champions. Kingdom was in it. The Righteous One. Why? Why? Are you doing a slow burn, Tony? Because
For what?
because if so, your help it's working because I'm dying to see the Kingdom against Adam Cole and MJF for those titles.
I think Tony Khan's just too much of a fan of slow burns. Like he,
What?
yeah,
Every, everyone would disagree with you. Like the narrative about Tony Khan is the exact opposite. It's
well,
it's aside from one or two storylines in AEW history, all he does is put book dream matches.
I mean,
That's
yeah,
the narrative.
yeah, but I mean, certain things, no, like with storyline based matches, from what I've seen, Tony's taking his time, but with dream matches and shit, like fucking yeah, like now we're getting Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr. He's doing that. Well, see, he's doing that because Danielson's wrapping up his career, so he's trying to get as many dream matches out of him as possible. But
which
yeah,
I'll get to whenever we preview Collision. But
okay.
go ahead.
But yeah, I mean, otherwise, like from whatever storylines I've seen, like he takes his sweet fucking time from what I've seen. So anyway, that's just me. Maybe that's just something that I'm
Yeah,
observing.
I mean, I'm frothing at the mouth to see Kingdom against Better Than You, baby.
Yeah,
And it's okay to have the righteous win because they kind of are putting stock in them. They had them against
yeah.
the Dark Order. They had them against the Hardys.
And also,
You
yeah,
saw them. Commentary mentioned how Vincent uh, took huge inspiration from Jeff Hardy, and the beginning of his career, he was basically a Jeff Hardy wannabe, and Jeff Hardy missed with the Swanton, and then Vincent hit the Swanton for the win on Jeff Hardy. So if they want to take a little bit longer for the Kingdom to get there, as long as it happens,
I I
I'm
guess
fine.
I think the reason why they're doing it is because the Kingdom, they probably want the Kingdom to take the titles off of Max and Adam, but before that, I don't have how many title defenses have they had? Like how many times
Hmm?
did they defend their Ring of Honor? How many times did Max and Adam defend their Ring of Honor tag titles?
Once,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
So
They wanted it all in, and then they defended it all out.
exactly. So they need a few more title defenses before finally letting the Kingdom take it off with them. So I can see why they're doing this. But also, yeah, I'm just like, God damn it, come on, just get it over with. But um, what I did want to switch gears to was the Mike Santana's solo debut. Um, I mean, the match was good, but the real story is what happened afterwards. Like Ortiz, went up to him face to face and he's like, "You want to talk now? You want to talk?" And Santana just walked out on him. So it looks like that's going to be so they're finally doing the story. So whether the whole thing with those two not, in good terms anymore or whatever was real or not, like these two are, and if they're not, like kudos to kudos to them for being professional about it. They're still
Like
being,
Claudio and Eddie.
yeah. And but this is also good because they're both like they were LAX proud and powerful for the longest time, and now like they're both going on singles run. Like Ortiz, from what I'm seeing, like on Instagram, for example, Ortiz still posts pictures of him and Santana together. Santana is just posting only like posts of himself. There's no Ortiz, nothing. So it's like
Um,
Ortiz misses Santana, but Santana just doesn't want anything to do with him anymore. And that, and
well, I
yeah,
also saw like a social media post where Santana was like, "You didn't talk to me for 3 months, and this is the first thing you have to say to me. Like, fuck out of here." And so like,
let me see that.
you know,
I have to find it.
but also, I messaged you when I was watching Rampage, and I said Santana has what it takes
He
to
does.
be a singles star. In what capacity that means, I don't know. But apparently, AEW thinks so as well, because I went to AEW shop yesterday and there's two Mike Santana shirts. And before the match he had a very, very good vignette. So they're putting some time and effort into Santana.
Yeah. So here's the tweet. He says, "Now is when you want to show face and talk. Nah, I'm good. I'll keep showing out." It's like, oh Jesus. So again, I don't know
What
what.
I'm talking about
Yeah.
happened like a couple weeks ago or something.
Yeah.
But
No, I got you. But no, like this one, like he literally posted this 4 hours ago. Like it's that picture of him and Santana facing off, him and Ortiz facing off. But I am excited for Mike Santana. I'm excited to see what he does. Again, obviously, eventually the storyline is going to be him and Ortiz and their blow off, which I guarantee you is going to be a slower burn than the Kingdom versus Better Than You, baby. Okay, so yeah, don't talk to me about Tony Khan not liking slow burns and shit, because he loves to you know ignite spark by spark. All right,
Yeah.
so
So Rampage. We had Darby and Sting against Luchasaurus and Christian. Good stuff.
mm-hmm.
The three-way with Chris, Hook, and Orange battling the who did they wrestle? Oh, Anna Jay and Daddy Magic and
Yeah,
Angelo Parker. That was good stuff. I like the dynamic of Hook and Orange together. I like seeing Anna Jay and Menard and Angelo Parker on my screen. Um, we had the trios titles for AEW defended the Acclaimed against Dark Order. I like what they're doing with the Dark Order. The Dark Order has new outfits. I like how they're heel, but they don't think they're heel. Um, the Acclaimed, continue to be one of the top
yep,
reasons why people turn into AEW.
yep.
Um, I was
They're
very, uh, very pleasantly surprised with Julia Hart and Sky Blue's match. I thought they both showed a lot of growth, and that um, you know, people like to talk about the women's division. Okay. We saw Saraya, Tony Storm, Ruby, and maybe some other women on Dynamite. I don't remember. And then on Rampage, we saw Chris Statlander, Anna Jay, Julia Hart, uh, Sky Blue, Willow Nightingale.
mm-hmm.
Uh, um, I thought that was good shit, man. I think it was good shit. And then the evening ended with the ROH triple titles.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a build up for Swerve versus Hangman. Um, what did you think about this match?
I think that was interesting that they put the. I just want to go ahead and get to the end, but I think it was interesting that they put the trios titles on the Elite at this point. Um, it feels like I hate doing this, but like the whole, and I think you've talked about this to me as well, but like the whole all friends wrestling thing. I mean, you know, as much as I don't want to give Smarks the credit, but like stuff like this is kind of what makes people think this is all friends wrestling. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not sure how if that was the right decision. Although, I
It's
mean,
only the right
yeah,
decision if Swerve beats Hangman.
yeah, but why? But did they need the trios titles for that?
No, but it gives Hangman the momentum going into the match,
Right.
right? So everyone thinks Hangman has the momentum, he's gonna beat Swerve, and then you have Swerve beat him. That's the only good that's the only positive I think of this. But a negative that I thought of, and it wasn't the all friends wrestling thing, but I agree. Um, I don't like the seamlessness between AEW and ROH.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
like it at all. Um,
yeah,
ROH as a show, for the most part, feels like a better AEW Dark Elevation
yeah.
with Athena and Shibata and
And now
maybe one
Claudio.
other match
No, and now
meaning
Eddie.
so-
But yeah,
meaning something each week. Yeah, but Athena and Shibata are doing more there each
oh
week.
yeah, 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 yeah,
You're
yeah.
seeing, but
By far.
you're seeing the ROH titles more on AEW than they are on ROH, and that
Yeah.
pisses me off. I don't like that I don't like this. I
I
don't
mean,
like this
no,
at all.
I don't either.
Um, I always went okay.
Like, well, okay,
I know
with the exception
whenever
of,
Punk had Collision, it started to look like Dynamite and Collision were two separate shows with two like separate rosters. And a lot of people talked about the bloated AEW roster. And I said, if Collision is its own thing, if Dynamite is its own thing, if ROH is its own thing, then you have three separate shows doing three separate things with different fucking people. And now we have everything on everything. And it's kind of like,
it's kind of
okay,
convoluted.
why do I have to go watch ROH I can if I'm gonna see Samoa Joe, if I'm gonna see the World Television title, the Tag Team title, number one contendership, the Trios titles, and the World title on AEW. There's no incentive for me to watch that show
Yeah,
unless I want to spend however much money it is a week or a month to watch ROH just for Athena and Shibata. I don't know. It's goofy to me. It's
yeah,
goofy to me.
it is.
Um,
I agree. Well, with the exception of Better Than You, Bebe, just because Max is the AEW World Champion, there really is no need for all your Ring of Honor champions to be on every fucking show that you have. Just keep
right,
them on Ring of Honor.
right,
Yeah,
yeah,
Max and Adam are the only people who have an exception. But other than that,
agreed,
yeah,
agreed. Um, so I was, I would say I give AEW Grand Slam Week um a B plus to an A minus.
yeah, I would say yeah, B plus is where I would say as well.
Now, before we go, I want
Hmm.
to go over Collision
Sure.
tonight and uh, get your thoughts on what you think is going to happen. We've got a triple threat match for the TNT Championship: Christian Cage versus Luchasaurus versus Darby Allin. Now, this is where it should start, or it should happen altogether. Luchasaurus turns on Christian, takes off his mask, becomes
Whatever his real
whatever
name
name
is.
he wants to go by. Or it starts here. Second off, uh Texas Death Match for Brian Danielson and Ricky Starks. Brian, I thought you were hurt. I thought you were working through an injury. You're just gonna throw yourself into the goddamn fire? Like I don't know. I'm excited for White and Idolo. I'm excited to see what the War Horsemen bring to FTR. We get to see RVD and Hook against Daddy Magic and Cool Hand Ange. And I believe Willow Nightingale is wrestling who oh shit. Sometimes their social media is goofy. Um Probably Julia Hart. Yeah, yeah, it's Julia
Oh,
Hart
okay, that's
because
cool.
of what happened last night. Um what are you looking forward to and what do you expect from this card?
Jay White versus Andrade just for the match itself. I'm really looking forward to. Um, the triple threat for TNT, like you said, this could be where Luchasaurus finally has had enough of Christian Cage. And I mean, if you think about it, a feud between Christian Cage and Luchasaurus could work because Luchasaurus is a dinosaur. So in kayfabe, his father is dead. So it would make sense. So Christian could be like, you know what? Your father is not even dead. He's extinct. Your species doesn't exist anymore, or some shit like
But he
that.
doesn't have a mom. He doesn't have a mom to hit on
Yeah,
because
but
his mom's extinct too.
yeah, exactly. Although it's weird, that would be bestiality in a way. So that's kind of
Hey
gross.
man, Christian's a heel.
Yeah, but that's still kind of gross. Anyway, I think either like you said, Luchasaurus can turn on Christian Cage, or like you said, it can be the beginning of dissension between the two. When Christian Cage, I could see Darby hit the coffin drop on Luchasaurus. Christian Cage, can throw Darby out and pin Luchasaurus to actually become the TNT World Champion, and then
And then cut Luchasaurus all the way off.
yeah, and then Luchasaurus can be like, "What the fuck, bro?" And then, you know,
I like that. I like that a
yeah,
lot, Sid. I
it'll
like
be
that a
more
lot.
it'll be more like Cage trying to reason with Luchasaurus as to why he did what he did, and then eventually Luchasaurus is like, "All right, you know what? Get fucked," you know?
So here's something I just thought of.
Yeah.
BC Gold has 4 members. Yeah.
Yes, there are.
Andrade El Idolo was watching their trios match against 3 luchadors. One was Aerostar. I forget the other 2 right now. And it looked like there was going to be, and then Jay White called out Andrade.
Yeah.
So, and the thing is, to me, well, Vikingo got hurt, apparently.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
they've been teasing all this LFI stuff, and that Roosh is leading Dralistico and Preston Vance. And there's another guy that's wrestling right now against a faction of 4. And why isn't that guy in LFI whenever he was in Ingobernable's before? I don't
That's
understand why
weird.
Andrade is not in Los Facciones Ingobernable, but tonight I'm hoping that BC Gold after the match or in the match get involved and Roosh, Vance, and Dralistico go down there.
And then in the end, they do the
Because yes, I would love to see LFI reunite with Andrade, and I would love to see them in a faction war with BC Gold with
that
the
would
Bang
be
Bang Gang.
that would be awesome. Yeah, I mean, including well, but you said BC Gold has 4 members. They actually have 5. You forgot about Cardblade.
Ah, I love how everyone, even the cardboard cutout, has something to say. Like Jay White introduces it, and then they just say Austin Gunn, and Austin just gets like so like depressed. It's hysterical.
It's awesome.
Rock Hard Juice Robinson. I forget what they say about Cardblade, and then fully cocked Colton Gunn, and then he goes Austin Gunn. It's hysterical.
It's awesome. Yeah. Okay. So with that in mind, I think
Wherever you are in the world,
yep.
whether it is morning, noon, or night, you have a great one. Peace and love to all of you.
Bang bang gang. I forgot what. Follow the buzzards. All right, bye.